I'm Joost from Kids Toy Studio and I'm here today with the 4 best coding robots. We have Botley 2.0, we have the Teach Mech 5, we have Sphero here, Sphero Mini, and we have the Code & Go Robot Mouse. Now each of these have some different strengths and let's go over those in just a little bit. First let's look at the age range here. So the Code & Go Robot Mouse, that's best for 4-year-olds and you can grow with it to about 6. 4 and 5 is best for this one. Then the Botley 2.0, that's fun from around 5 to about 10 years old. So 5, 6 and 7 is the best age for this one. Then we have the Sphero Mini, which is great for, well, my 5-year-old also plays with it, but it becomes a little bit more fun with 7, 8, 9, 10. And the Teach Mech 5 here, which is a little bit more intricate, that is more for 10 plus, so for teenagers. So that is the different age ranges here. Now 3 of these are completely screen-free coding. You have the Robot Mouse, Botley and the Teach Mech 5. They are completely screen-free. And the Sphero Mini here, that uses an app. So you need an app to be able to steer that. That also makes it a little bit more fun, I think, for children. But it also is a weakness because it's only for learning coding. So it's also more of an RC toy. So my son, well, he's 5, but he also uses this just as an RC toy, which is a little bit different than what it's supposed to be used for. And they all have some cool accessories. So the Code & Go Robot Mouse, you can move over the grid here, and it's very easy to attach extra of these grid pieces. You can make your own mazes here or use the supplied challenges, so that's also pretty fun. The Botley also has the cardboard pieces here to make the first few challenges, but you grow out of that pretty fast. And then Botley is just used on the floor, so without any of these pieces. That makes it a little bit more open, a little bit more fun, and you can use the supplied controller here to steer it and code in sequences in which steps you want him to take. So that's also pretty cool, and it's a really fun robot, and it seems to have its own style. So it reacts differently to the way you code it. His eyes light up and he makes fun little noises and sounds. So this really speaks to a little bit younger children than, for example, the Sphero Mini. That just gives a color and it rolls around like a ball. So you steer it with your phone and then it rolls around like a ball, which is pretty fun. So it's fun to do just as an RC toy and steering it around, or making mazes in it with the supplied additional pieces that you get. You can steer this around and move through like mazes. There are a few different ways to steer this, so that's also cool. And I think the addition of the phone is also educational, although a little bit less than learning coding. You learn how to use your phone to connect to things in the real world. So that's also pretty valuable, I think, in this day and age. But you can also code this on your phone with steps in sequence and input them on your phone. So that works a little bit more intuitively than you can do with Botley or the coding mouse, where you just need to input them here in the controller and you can't really see what you input previously. So you just have to, well, remember and, well, more try and hit and miss here. So those are the differences between those 3. And then the Teach Mech 5 here, that's a whole different robot altogether. It's a little bit cheaper, and that's because it's like a building set. So you get all of these separate pieces for it. Then you need to put it together yourself. So that's also why it's for older kids. Obviously I put this together myself. My 5-year-old wasn't able to do that, and he hasn't been able to play with it as well, because also playing with it is pretty difficult. Now the cool thing here is that you get all of these different attachments for it. It isn't so much challenges for this as more different attachments, and then you can find out how to use them yourself. So you have a grabber, lift, you have a shot that you can launch a ball from his back. You can also play soccer, so it's like a little kicking leg on the front, and you code using these little pieces on the front of the wheel here. So every piece stands for a different action, just a little bit forward or turning to the side. So that also makes this a little less intuitive, because you have to remember what all the pieces do, and you also have to see how far it will move when doing that. And then you also have these pieces to do a special move, like the throwing of the ball or the kicking of the ball. So this really is for all the children. It was fun to put together, and you also learn a lot about how these pieces work. So that's also very educational. So if you have a little older child then I'd recommend the Teach Mech 5 or the Sphero, which is just fun to play around with. So these are the different choices you have when looking for an educational robot for different age groups and with different functionality.